Like and subscribe. On the way, in the door. People, today we are going to talk about Tupac Shakur and his place and influence in 90s culture. Still going on with our 90s series that is going to be ongoing and ongoing. The first thing when I think about Tupac, I think one of the first words that comes up is passion. And not only is that a great word to describe Tupac, I think that is appropriate for the 90s in general. Again, the 90s, we had iconic figures in the 90s. And I think one of the singular things that you can say about all of them, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson, Tupac Shakur, is that they had a serious passion for what they did. Tupac said in an interview that he wanted to be like Marvin Gaye. And Marvin Gaye was a very soulful singer, and that's what he was known for. You know, if you're not up on Marvin Gaye, especially you young kids, go check him out. And it makes sense when you listen to Tupac rap. Very passionate. You know, songs like Dear Mama and Who Thinking Elementary. Hey, I see the penitentiary one day. Lines like that, to me, and how it was delivered, is part of what made Tupac such an iconic figure. Because, you know, to me, the way he said it, all people could relate to it. So to me, it wasn't just about, you know, and Who Thinking Elementary, hey, I'll see the penitentiary one day. You know, maybe you never been in a penitentiary, but that line could make you reflect on a number of things. It could make you reflect on a number of things that you never would have thought that you would be involved in, or, you know, that you would have done, you know, as you reflect on your life. You know, you never would have thought that, you know, being in elementary and first grade as a little kid and carefree, that life would take you down some of the roads that you ended up going down. Some good roads, some bad roads. But that line, to me, is a classic line and is one of the reasons why Tupac was so beloved by people of all races and all ages. Why Tupac could hang with the thug dudes and the Hollywood elites. Why he was embraced by everyone. Because Tupac represented everyone in some form of fashion. Because he was truly his authentic self, which most people are not. Especially in rap. Most people aren't themselves. You know, it's like, for those of you who grew up in the hood, like, you knew even the hardest dudes, if you were close enough with those guys, you know, if you were friends with some of those guys, you knew they had a soft side. You know, they had the side that liked to laugh and joke like everybody else. But if you were a stranger, you would never know that side of them. And it's kind of the same thing in hip hop. Hip hop, the ideal is to maintain your tough exterior and not show your vulnerabilities. But Tupac showed it all. He showed his vulnerabilities, the tough exterior, the soft parts, and that's why everybody could relate to him. And he was fearless. Like, he was fearless to be himself. And so he was really like a big brother to a lot of young teenagers, young men at that time. Could even go as far as to say he was probably like a father figure to a lot of young teenage boys and men at that time. Because Tupac made it cool to be yourself. He made it cool to show that vulnerable side. He made it cool to show the sides of yourself that most people keep hidden. And most importantly, Tupac made it cool to be the underdog. Another thing he was known for is his impeccable work ethic. Tupac is arguably one of the hardest working, if not the hardest working, rapper in the history of rap. He died at 25? I think he was 25 when he passed. And the amount of albums, songs, movies he had done by that time is unmatched. And I hope this channel inspires everyone. And the reason I talk about and study the people who I deem as beyond great, like they stand out even among the greats, like Michael Jordan, Tupac, Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson. I study that because I like to find the things that's common between the people who excel in such a way that they set a bar that probably won't be matched. And I can tell you two things that these people have in common. One of them is obviously they're normally harder workers than everyone. But the other thing is they have a certain kind of fearlessness to them. So yeah, Tupac was fearless, and he was a hard worker. Like I said, the amount of albums that he put out, I mean, I'm trying to count, you got Strictly for My, that's one, Tupac-less Now. I can't remember which one first. Tupac-less Now might have been the first one. Then you got Me Against the World. You got All Eyes on Me. You got Machiavelli. You got Still I Rise. You got, I think it was Are You Still Down? Is that one of them? You got all the soundtrack stuff, and it's definitely more albums than I can name. I'm just naming what I can think of off the top of my head. And then you got the movies. You got Juice. You got Above the Rim. You got Poetic Justice. You got Gridlocked. Y'all help me out in the comments if I'm leaving some out. Help me out with those albums too. If you're a Tupac fan, list the albums that you can remember in the comments. Trying to see what other Tupac movies. Am I missing some? But yeah, he got all this stuff done by age 25. And last but not least, he was a leader. Again, it's something else, another commonality you will find between these people who excel in that kind of way. They're leaders. But, normally the hallmark of a good leader is that they also know how to follow. Whether you're talking about Jordan accepting the coaching from Phil Jackson, or whether you're talking about Mike Tyson and Cus D'Amato, or whether you're talking about Tupac and mentors that he had. If you know about Tupac, he comes from a Black Panther background. His mother, was involved with the Black Panthers, and so he had that leader mentality, which is why even the hardest dudes looked up to him. And yeah, so Tupac heavily, I would say, ended up being the main influence of 90s rap. Now, he didn't start off the main influence because, it was other stuff happening in the 90s. And Tupac, brought in the whole thug era, so to speak. Except, you know, the one thing that I hate is a lot of times people who didn't really study or know Tupac reduce him down to just that thug image and just that part of it. But again, the reason why he was so beloved by so many people from all walks of life is because he really represented all facets of humanity. And he represented that underdog, you know. And he represented being true to yourself. So yeah. So Tupac Amaru Shakur was another heavy influence of 90s culture, along with Michael Jordan, along with Michael Jackson, along with Mike Tyson. And you know, and to be honest, I think Biggie's biggest relevance is the fact that he would be forever linked to Tupac in that way. Because although Biggie was a great rapper, you know, we all know that, great lyricist, you know, number one, to me, Biggie just didn't get enough done that, to me, if he never had that, if him and Tupac never had that beef, I'm not really sure how much Biggie would be getting bought up nowadays. You know, because it's almost synonymous. It's like if you bring up Tupac, somebody's going to bring up Biggie, or vice versa. But anyway, yeah. So again, you know, we're going to keep talking about these 90s icons and more, and, you know, trying to give you a feel for that 90s culture. You young kids, if you guys are not up on Tupac, I would highly suggest to me, the album I would start with is Me Against the World. Because to me, that album just got such a feel and passion behind it, as all his music does. But for me, I think that's my favorite one. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. For you guys who are Tupac fans, if I left anything out, please drop that in the comments. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. All right.